would have liked, but my parents split up when I was 5 years old, and I hardly had no relationship with my dad. I mean, he was living in America, I was living in Europe, and it's most of the time better to have an open conflict with your father than nothing. Nothing is the worst. And he passed away 5 years ago, it took me lots of time to go over all this. But this personal context, to try to answer your question, probably developed my curiosity. Because of frustration, I tried to be more curious on my own, and through my curiosity, probably replacing that my father didn't give me as advice, to find the way I had to survive and to fulfill my curiosity, not through the axioms of a father's figure, but through axioms that I could find and going out there to find them and to feed me, and thinking, I never thought about that before, but I think that I think I'm somebody quite curious, and quite interested in where curiosity is part of my life. And it's probably also because of this. I mean, probably all my life I tried to fulfill and to get through curiosity, through experiences, what my father didn't give me, I think. My mother was a great figure in the French resistance during the war. She's been caught by the Nazis 3 times, and she escaped. And with this, she was an extraordinary woman. And during this period, she became quite close to a woman who became one of her best friends after the war, who opened the most influential jazz club in Paris called Le Schaefer, Rue de la Huchette in Paris. And my mother was visiting this friend. She was not partly in jazz, my mother, but she was close to the owner of the club. And as the kid, in the weekend, just hanging around, I was going down to the club and listening to these guys rehearsing. I had no idea about who they were, and they were people such as John Coltrane and Chet and Don Cherry and Chet Baker. I had no idea, and for me, I was just sitting there listening to what they were doing. And actually, at one day, when for the birthday of my 8 years old, I mean, the guy with the trumpet sat me on the upright piano and played for me like this for 5 minutes. And it was Chet Baker. I had no idea about who Chet Baker was, but that was probably one of my first physical relationship with music, because each time I'm thinking about this, I still feel the air on my chest, and this is something which is, I mean, almost a central sexual relationship to sound. He has been my absolute mentor. I mean, electronic music, we have to understand that it's coming from 2 countries, Germany and France. Pierre Schaefer in France with Pierre inventing musique concrète, and Stockhausen in Köln, dealing with electronic sounds. This is where it's not coming from America. Electronic music is really coming from continental Europe and for both countries. And Pierre Schaefer taught me something that actually changed the world. It's actually, music is not made of only of notes and harmonies, but it's made of sounds. And this thought changed the world. And these days, all DJs are sound designers without even knowing it. But they have a total audio approach and sound design approach of music. And I was then with this quite intellectual, into this kind of intellectual center where people are doing research in a very scientific approach. Classifying all sounds of the universe and so on and so forth. And after a while, Schaefer told me, but you know, your place now, you you took whatever you needed. Now you have to leave and you have to go in front of the audience and it's experimenting. Don't waste your time by doing research in a laboratory. Your path is somewhere else. And then he gave me the push. Probably I would have done it anyway, but that's what happened. As long, I mean, for me, I would say the three elements what makes you a creative is a mixture of innocence, desire, and curiosity. Because innocence is this kind of freshness you can keep, and you can be 90 years old and being absolutely innocent, not naive, but innocent. And the other thing is this idea of desire. I mean, the fact that you want to build like an architect, even if it's a novel, a book, or something, but you have this kind of naughty boy approach of things, saying, yes, let's try this, let's try that. And the other thing is curiosity, by just wanting to explore things and this constant feel of being a beginner. And that you have done demos in your life and you want to somehow achieve this demo or improve this demo next time. Yeah, I mean, it's really strange because when I met him, his wife said, it's so great that you spend the whole day coming, making the effort to go to 100 kilometers from Vienna and all this, and you should have come maybe 20 years before. And he was so moved, and then for the band it means so a lot that we spend all. And actually we did this track, and it was, and I found the title Zero Gravity, and he sent me very nice words about that, saying it's exactly the way I feel, that being between two worlds and all that. It's what kind of very premonitory of what happened a few weeks later, because it's going to be the last track of Tangerine Dream, this track. And for me, obviously, this is the album is dedicated to Edgar, and it's something that obviously is very special and very moving, because it's linked with time and also timelessness of music and timelessness of Tangerine Dream music. Because no, but I think that because if you start thinking about it, you start being linked with the timelessness. It's you have to forget the notion of time by essence to maybe achieve timelessness. But what I would say, and if you take all these collaborations, I mean, they have in common something I admire, and I'm glad to be part of that. I mean, they have this sense of timelessness, and the fact that we can say, oh yes, Massive Attack and Moby, we haven't heard about them for quite a while, but they are still doing lots of things. Maybe they're not the flavor of the week this week, but maybe next week. You know, so it doesn't mean anything, but they have all in common this kind of unique and rich specificity of being timelessness and going through generations. And it's what I think this project is showing, that electronic music has not started with Avicii. It's interesting because I think this project is also in phase with I think with the society in 2015-2016, where you are actually in this kind of zapping process where you zap into things, and at the moment, at the same time also, this dream of being connected, this dream of telling stories. I mean, the success of Facebook is actually everybody wants to tell his own story and being consistent in time, but at the same time zapping emotions and things. And I think this project can be approached in two ways: either zapping one track or another and picking what you want, or listening to it as a movie or as a novel, you would, in a kind of continuous mix.